Hello there, please be aware that I've wrote the script and recorded material for this video right before servers shut down. At the moment when I'm uploading, they still don't work. People say that servers being doxed by hackers, but I don't even know. Maybe EA and Respawn simply wanted servers shut down because Titanfall as a franchise stopped bringing enough money. Maybe it was the last time I even played this game. Players on Steam started review bombing the game, and I can understand them. You paid for the product and expect it would work. So at this state I could not recommend you to buy Titanfall 2 because basically you could play only 6 hours campaign. Multiplayer doesn't work. So keep in mind that I've made this video before this problem.
I'm supposed to jump inside and fight whatever I saw out there? No! I don't want to!
Get in a fucking robot, Cindy. Back in 2014 I've skipped Titanfall. At the time I was playing Battlefield, so there was no reason for me to hop in another multiplayer session shooter. The second Titanfall I've missed because I was not interested. I've been playing other stuff, although a lot of media and players were screaming how good this game is. Eventually they were right. With Steam relocation, this title received a second chance for a lot of players. Before that I've tried Apex Legends, and that is basically Titanfall version 2.1. Later you will see why. I don't like Battle Royale games that much. The most time I've spent in PUBG, then played Fortnite for 20 hours or so, and Warzone, that I barely played. So boring it is. Among all of this, Apex seems the most fun for me personally, so it was a good sign for Titanfall 2 in my book. At the summer sale I've secured a nice discount, so here we are. In this video I would like to express myself, how it feels to play Titanfall 2 in 2021. Also I will make a few minor references to Apex Legends, because these games has a lot in common. In this way it's easier to tell what Respawn Entertainment changed at all since the original game. Before we start, let's take a look at the developer's story, just to be aware. It seems like Respawn's Entertainment Tale is the only corporate bigotry-related story with a happy ending, at least for now. You probably have met these two names, Jason West and Vincent Zampella. Alongside with Grant Collier, they founded Infinity Ward Studio in 2002, that partially was under control of Activision. A few years later, in 2007, Studio has developed Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, the game that has been redeveloped under the different titles for almost 15 years. After the success of the original game, Zampella and West asked Activision for nice bonuses and creativity freedom for their next game. But Corpo wanted to secure the IP, so they've made a deal on the condition that Call of Duty brand will stay with Activision if Zampella and West would leave the company. That's where the things get interesting. Since this deal, Corpo tried to get their full control for the series, they wanted creators gone. They simply have created tension. Thus, in March of 2010, Zampella and West were fired from Activision, even without the bonuses that have been promised. After that, there were a few lawsuits, but eventually things were settled outside of court. Just notice how cool was Call of Duty before 2010 and what became of it after. Once Zampella and West left Activision, they formed a new independent studio, Respawn Entertainment. Quite an ironic name, don't you think? The thing that warms my heart, that almost every employee from Infinity Ward joined Respawn, 38 out of 46 developers. Basically it became Infinity Ward 2. That's why I called this the only corporate bigotry related story with a happy ending. After that, they've signed a deal with EA True Partners program. Since then, it's been 2 Titanfall games, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Apex Legends. Honestly, Respawn Entertainment almost the only studio that still saves EA from bankruptcy. I admire this studio. First of all, they make good games. And the second reason, I'm impressed how they've salvaged their assets from Titanfall and transferred them right into Apex Legends with barely any changes. The map is just a few levels from previous games fetched together. Guns are the same, they've only added a few new ones, although it feels like the gunplay in Apex Legends is a bit smoother. A few taps here, a few clicks there, but still almost identical to Titanfall 2. Parkour is also almost the same, except the fact that in Apex Legends you have no ability to wall run. Also, from my personal experience, Titanfall's parkour is less forgiving. It is still amazing, but your movement should be more precise, especially when you want to grab the ledges. In Apex it feels a bit more fluid, more casual. We even have the same characters. I know this is the same universe, but for me it feels like Respawn just reused their assets. Another thing is that in Titanfall 2 you have no ammo. Your resource management works through cooldowns and meters that you should fill. Unusual at first, but later became genius after a few hours. Also in Apex Legends they've rebalanced things. A few weapons have different recoil, damage output, and of course there are no titans. Someone even speculating that they're going to be in Apex soon, but I really doubt it. It would entirely ruin the balance of the game. This is one of the reasons why I like Titanfall more, and the other one is camping and cheating. Due to its unique movement gameplay, it's almost impossible to sit on the spot and camp with a rifle in Titanfall. Players move all the time. There are a lot of gadgets that detect other players. Turrets. Titanfall is created to eradicate static gameplay. This is amazing. Apex, on the other hand, is filled with campers, kids that could snipe you from the other side of the map, and simply cheaters. At least on PC platform. All this great stuff soaks fun from the game. In Titanfall you most likely won't encounter it, so this is a huge win in my book. To summarize all the above, Apex Legends is almost exact same game. It could be called Titanfall 2.1. Respawn cut out titans, added a few characters, guns, and mixed a few levels into the big one. However, unlike other idiotic battle royals that became boring after a week, Apex still holds up due to its older game. Titanfall is the unique movement session shooter that is more dynamic. Average match duration is something about 10 minutes. You won't be bored. I personally prefer the old game. But how do we play Titanfall 2 in 2021? Does it even have a player base? As of 2018, when the game was available only in Origin, there were so few players that you couldn't take it without the humor. It quickly became a meme. After Titanfall relaunched on Steam, it became playable again. Usually I search for a match for 10 seconds or so. A lot of players, enemies or your teammates have the same level as you do. Sides usually are equal. It's not a battle of pros versus noobs. You won't be frustrated. The most crucial downside comes not from the game itself, but from how EA treats it. There are only 2 developers that work on Titanfall in 2021, and right when I was writing the script for this video, servers broke and you couldn't play the game even the next day. Other than that, Titanfall is surprisingly enjoyable. My top multiplayer shooters are Battlefield 3 and Insurgency Sandstorm. I thought nothing could at least match them, but Titanfall has done it. Now let's get into the game itself. First thing first, visuals. For those who hasn't played Apex Legends, where graphics is more polished and brighter, could you tell me the difference here? Where is Battlefield 3, 4, where is Titanfall, and where is Call of Duty game? Sometimes they're literally the same. Even the fact that they use different engines couldn't help. Industry standard as it is. To make the game visually unique somehow, Respawn Entertainment used 2 elements, art style and user interface. Art style is simple, futuristic stuff, jetpacks, laser weapons, and of course huge robots. Who don't like huge robots that shoot big guns? By the way, I think Call of Duty Advanced Warfare copied a lot from Titanfall. They had time. Titanfall came out in March of 2014 and Call of Duty came out in November. User interface is gorgeous in the same way as it is informative. Every needed bit of information is right here. Where are friendlies? Where is your Titan? Where are your enemies? Cooldown time, guns, effectiveness, Titan meter. All of these are simple yet elegant. Honestly, one of the best user interface in FPS that I've encountered. Could not praise it enough. As for the gameplay, Titanfall has 3 main mechanics: movement, combat and titans. Let's start with the movement. The game is heavily parkour oriented. To be efficient, you need to move efficient. This is the main mechanic that you should master. If your movement is good, even titans could not hurt you. Here we have infinite stamina. Sprint is available all the time. You could double jump, slide, wall run. This ability was cut out from Apex Legends, climb ledges and take ziplines. As Battlefield and Insurgency player, where you could take a proper position rather than run around, it was hard for me to feel this mechanic. After a few hours though, it became more reasonable for me, more fluid. Campaign helped me a lot with this. There are a lot of missions where you should take really difficult routes, at least for me. Notice how my movement improved after I've played it. I feel strange when I play Titanfall 2. I'm not used to this type of gameplay, but it's captivating. This concept almost eradicated campers in matches, which is great. At least somewhat similar gameplay I've met only in Quake and Unreal Tournament. Both of them are practically dead. Combat is almost a complete copy of any Call of Duty game. Even a few reloads are exactly the same. Does it bad? Probably not. Here we almost have no campers. Maps designed amazingly. They almost perfect. I could not describe the level of multiplayer balance, and at the same time they are not boring. A lot of them have verticality, which is rare in games. Gunplay is good. Taps and claps, all the stuff. Most of the weapons have secondary user interface, I mean ammo indicators, a nice touch. There are a lot of types of guns: assault rifles, shotguns, machine guns, pistols, grenade launchers, submachine guns and special types of weaponry. Anti-Titan. Most of them you've seen in Apex Legends, some of them unique, some of them don't. Usually you'll just unlock more advanced and you'll spend with them the rest of your games. We also have grenades, gadgets and active skills such as phase shift, clock, grappling hook and so on. All of this leads to different builds and playstyles. There are a lot of variety which you could sort in loads and pick in matches. Weapons and gadgets surprisingly well balanced, except one thing. You could melee in Titanfall and you need only one hit to take out the enemy. This, let's call it feature, is extremely frustrating due to players that like to follow you around and kick you right in the back. Sometimes it's really annoying. There are a lot of game modes, but most of the time you'll just play team deathmatch where you should get points to win. Except players, there are also bots on the levels. You could farm them for points. Later in the game a few of them could even kill you. If you really don't like PvP modes, you could play PvE, players versus bots only. Not a bad idea in PvP, they complement the battles and it feels more epic, especially considering the fact that there could be only 12 players on a map. Talking of which, you most likely will play like 7 of them. I'd wish there were at least a few more. Not that I'm bored, but there could be more. Still, they are amazing. As I mentioned, it's almost impossible to camp here. It's all about shoot and run. Quite fun experience. Overall, the combat is extremely fun. I could even call it exciting, especially when I rarely played such movement shooters. The thing is that matches usually feels the same. After some time, you'll learn the maps, upgrade your weapons, and will find your favorite gadgets. I could not play Titanfall more than an hour straight. I need to take a break and return after some some time. Here just let's take a look at Battlefield 3 for a comparison. There are 4 classes in Battlefield: Assault, Support, Engineer and Recon. Medic runs around and shoots stuff, could revive fallen and set the smoke screens. Support has more positional gameplay, same as the Recon. Camper's class, but could help you to locate enemies. Engineer just does stuff. Already 4 ways how you could play the game. Then we have tanks and vehicles that being played completely differently. Helicopters is a huge part of Battlefield and has enormous learning curve. You should even set your key bindings in proper way if you want to fly good. Same with the jets. As you could see, there are a lot of mechanics and ways to play the game. In Titanfall we have only mix of 3 core mechanics, and yes, they are good. Yes, they are balanced. Yes, they are unique, but still, sometimes they could be repetitive. My advice is just take occasional breaks if you don't want to be bored from the game. The concept is that you run around, achieve points, and once you will fill your Titan meter, you could call one to the battlefield. They are obviously less maneuverable than a pilot, but could dodge. Once you get in a Titan, you could fill their meter and once done, use their special ability. There are 7 types of Titans that you could pick and customize before and during matches. They are different and have their own personalities. I mean, voice actors. Also the skins. I laughed pretty hard when I first saw the prices that almost higher than the digital edition of the game. Typical EA. Ion is a beginner Titan, all-round strong, has both defensive and offensive abilities. Couldn't deal a lot of damage though. Scourge is your ground control guy. Tanky enough, but need a proper positioning to be effective. Legion is all about your minigun. He has 2 modes for long and close combat, has a shield and offensive ability. Ronin is your samurai pick. Fast, mobile, deadly in close combat. Probably the most fun Titan to play with. Tone is your damage dealer, could stack targets and fire missiles, has a shield, main gun is accurate and deadly. North Star is a sniper, fires and run around, shoots from distance, squeaky but deadly. I would recommend it to more skilled players. Monarch is a tank with a lot of abilities, the main concept upgradable core. Once you fill your meter you could advance to the next level and improve your abilities. Longer you live, stronger you become. Besides basic Titan combat where you could just use your abilities, there are a few advanced techniques. For example, you could jump on an enemy Titan and steal his battery, and then heal friendly Titan. This will fill your Titan meter. To get an enemy pilot off, you could launch countermeasures or leave the Titan and shoot him personally. Different grenades and abilities also have different effects for pilots and Titans. You could even create certain builds for it. Titan battles feels fresh, they really make matches special, riskier, overall give new ways how to play the game. Campaign is cool too. At first I thought that Respawn will take the most obvious route, show us the deep bonds between a machine and a human, and that they would try to make a drama. Well, kinda, but only on a much smaller scale. A lot of times developers really surprised me. First of all, they've created difficult routes that really improved my parkour skills, and then they've introduced additional mechanics. For example, in one mission we have kinda electric stick that changed the environment, and in another we could switch between the past time and the present. The most exciting part is that Respawn didn't abuse these features. They could have forced players to use them for the rest of the game, but no. They appear for like 20 minutes each and that's it. Highly recommend you to complete the campaign. It's fun, but most importantly, you will improve your parkour skills for multiplayer. As you could see, Titanfall 2 is quite a game, fast, fun, skill-based. It's not the favorite shooter that I've ever played, but still top 3 in my list. Highly recommend you to check it out, especially when it gained its fame on Steam again. Will we get Titanfall 3 anytime soon? I don't think so. EA will milk Apex Legends as long as possible. Only when it dies, they probably will take the idea for a third game. It's not going to happen anytime soon, maybe in a few years.